Abyss, and everybody was winning rounds on T sides, but nobody could have a CT round to save their lives within regulation. No longer a question coming into this series. A bit of a curveball maybe with the overpass as a decider, but all about whether or not we get there. First map in the series, it's Mirage up first, and it's Pain and Imperial to try and cement first place out of this RMR and get to Copenhagen.
Very much shared territory for both of these teams as well. Decenti is the one to take point initially. My God, this man is coming in with a hand that was already warmed up, very clearly looking for 3. Will he find it? Not quite. That Lurk won't be able to get the triple opening kill all on his own.
The bomb was with him, though. So the fact that he got those kills and was trying to take space, they actually were about to carve a path for that bomb to go through. They're actually, the brunt of the forces are set up outside of B, but now they've been spotted and they haven't found a frag worth their weight.
The double nade investment will find absolutely nothing as well, so you have to keep in mind 2 players without Kevlar will have been revealed on this B site, but that being said, I don't know how much that matters when you are trying to waterfall out with only 1 flashbang to help.
The thing is, this round is weird now because they got those initial 2 kills. They get stopped at B initially. You could tell they're waiting for Pain to make some kind of a reaction, and they're trying to force some of that reaction. Henny making a very audible run back away from the apartments, but Pain aren't biting off of just that sound cue. He's setting up util.
Pain know exactly what's coming in. Lux, however, doesn't realize what's coming in as a bullet to his head. Almost taken down, and with Phelps rounding the corner, it's 1, not 2. Phelps will have no ways help to finish him off as well, but 4v1 and Imperial, despite the topsy-turvy turns they take, that's a tongue twister, still end up coming out on top.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was looking a little weird in terms of the Imperial master game plan, you look at it from Pain's point of view. They're down a man, they have to wait out all this time, they clear steps, but they know that they have extra men to sort of throw out sound baits, so making the right gamble, and unfortunately, they just don't have the manpower to stop or slow these Imperial players down. Nobody would have expected Decenti to come out and just hit 2 very fast headshots in the P250.
I don't think he did either, in all fairness.
Yeah, I mean, he killed the first guy, and it's like, wait, there was a second with him? They decided to double swing me, and I barely even noticed.
The maniacal laughter as well.
Can't quite believe his luck.
You gotta love it, man. Imperials is full of characters, be it veterans or fun little youngsters.
And that's the thing, you know, when we see players on LAN, even though they hit ridiculous shots and they have things happen like that, they're not going to react until after the round is finished because they know that they could still hit a bit of turbulence afterwards. But that's where all the stress is relieved when you know you've won the round. That's when you can crack a smile.
I don't know how stressed they are over here, Imperial, of course. A lot of veterans see in them and behind them, and Zach as well. Nassim leads a charge, and he's there to cover off his teammate, making sure that there isn't just a quick casualty to the MP9. Very nicely done to get that early man advantage, and now the scale onto the A side comes through. NQZ, one of the biggest off prospects that we've had coming out of Brazil in seemingly years, did have a bit of a fall off in the legacy time, but now he's hoping to strike through and give them that major appearance.
Yeah, it would certainly be a nice little story for him independently. I mean, a lot of players on this Pain roster are very unproven when it comes to making it to big stages. Pgl Cs2, you know, the last remnants of what was a kind of a bygone era with the Pain roster. And, you know, there was a conversation about Pain being one of these sort of feeder organizations, these top level, organizations that main accomplishments want to be making it to the major, competing at these big tournaments, would always just have larger budgets and would pluck those players away. And it felt like after the last major appearance we saw from Pain, they were kind of picked for parts, bar Pgl Cs2, who is still a very, very capable and very, has done great work with Pain as an organization for what is coming up on his, past his 5th year already.
And it is strange to see, considering that Pain is an org that does actually have money, it does have the size. I don't think people in Counter-Strike realize it, but these guys go way back across all the esports. They are one of the OG South American organizations. I say OG, but more like 2012 onwards or so is where they really started picking up notoriety, but that's pretty OG when it comes to CSGO at the very least. Of course, with those weapons saved up in the previous round, they will go for round 2. I know it's round 3, but round 2 with the Force Spy.
Yeah, didn't decide to break much blood in that initial investment. So why not give it another college try, second time over? A lot of mid-control here for Imperial, but you can see they're just simply waiting for Pain to make a move. Lux falling right into the crosshairs of No Way. And the Molotov good as well. Kawa is forced away from short. I mean, this is looking like some nice due diligence so far from Imperial, not letting their guard down or getting caught by any of these positions so far.
That's about to change, though, because Era, the solitary man with the rifle, able to get a quick kill, and now he sets up for what looks like a Felt isolate play, perhaps. Kawa's nearby, playing underneath. Will Phelps be checking that angle? I'm not sure if he already feels like he's cleared it, but Kawa has great pass, and this should be a freebie. There you have it. Phelps is down. And all due diligence be damned.
When they started to spread out and hunt independently after they got all that position, that they're now finding some difficulties. Kawa is creeping out towards stairs, but Henny was already so close CT, playing from that ROPS angle. Stairs now compromised as well. Pgl trying to whittle down the numbers, but this flank from Nissim could be absolutely everything. First kill's easy, the second low HP on No Way as well, and Henny being that healthy player has to do a majority of the lifting here in the post plant. They're down an extra man.
Pgl is playing containment from CT, and the scout has to be careful. NQZ able to scout Henny, sure, but no chance is given to actually find the fire, and Pgl finds him with his back turned instead. No Way all alone under Palace. Around that seems impossible, but maybe the time can be of assistance. Time has run out, but not for Pain. They'll be able to get the defuse and the first round on the board, despite what looked like Imperial getting off to a good start to the round.
Yeah, I mean, there goes that veteran on the Pain Gaming side. Pgl being so sneaky about his positioning, caught basically every single one of these players off guard. None of them really ready to face him. He found good timing. He got a good angle inside of connector as well to find that first, but just constantly repositioning. He was a hard man to nail down, and you know, at first you don't succeed on the force buy. This is the argument to try again.
And it does feel like Pgl is sort of that Master Splinter meme over here, where he is just raising those 4 turtles around him to become the ultimate ninjas. And I have to say, Lux and NQZ do look like that progress is very good. Kawas and Nassim as well have been known to have some good moments overall, but Pain, for them, this is the big step that they have been praying for. Last 2 majors, they couldn't make it at the decider phase. They were losing tiebreakers. I'm sure their organization wasn't happy about missing out on the windfall. They are, of course, so close to it again, but we've seen so many teams be at that 2-0 mark, having 1-2 BO1s, and the BO3s are just a different beast.
Just to clarify, Pain did make Paris.
It was the 2022 ones, of course.
Yes, they missed out on the 2022.
This is why I need a fact checker nearby. Apparently, I shouldn't say things so confident.
Stockholm and Paris, those were the 2 that Pgl has been in attendance of, and he's been with the organization for 5 years, so...
Definitely a man who has served his time, but now comes down to NQZ with the AWB, but the flashbang forces him away. Nassim unable to find that first frag as well. With Molotov back towards the Tetris area, but they've already moved past it. Nassim's demise is met before that, though. He's good for 1. And NQZ just needs to contain, make sure they can't penetrate CT. No Way, though. Lurk is perfect. Finds Lux and takes him down. That'll be meaning that Kawas is also kept completely busy. He can't turn away from mid, not easily at least. There'll always be that niggling feeling in the back of his head, but now Henny is hoping to come through. Cover off CT, the double push that's going to be planned out right now. All he cares about is Vinny's back. Vinny good for 1, turning around, just trying to put the pressure on, and Descenti as well. Just lurking forward from Palace, but Pain's already made the decision. They have to turn back, they have to save.
Yeah, really well done this time from Imperial. Just more bare bones hitting the bomb site, but this time leaving that lurker to activate, and being able to find that impact via No Way makes a world of a difference. You saw how difficult it was there for them to even track down Vinny on the bomb site. If they had somebody inside of Connector, for example, it might have been easier to flush or at least trade that player out. But there were many difficulties going back into that A play for Pain. This is definitely one of those matchups where, you know, you think about experience as the major angle for this, for these 2 teams. I mean, Imperial have so many players that have been able to compete and make it to majors on completely different rosters and have come from just kind of different walks of life. Some of them have crossed paths, sure, but the fact that you're comparing that to basically Pgl and NQZ's 1 attendance at Rio with 9Z, you know, that's about all the experience you get. And Pgl Cs2, sure, he's a player that, I mean, he's what, 27? But he has to serve as a bit of a father figure for this team, even though he's actually not been able to actually sort of lift trophies very often with this Pain roster. He's just been through the ringer.
Have struggled to qualify to other big events as well, but listen, if you can make the major, nothing matters. A little bit more passive from Pain early on. They're generally characterized by some solid CT side early round calls and setups that enable both Pgl Cs2 and NQZ to try and make plays. But for now, they want to prioritize patience. NQZ, angle is good. No one over there to flash him off of it either. Noe and Descenti are just being teed up for certain death unless NQZ is rotated away. Phelps has to make that happen though. Needs to take point, needs to make contact, and Pgl Cs2 is the first one to fall. Phelps gets the frag and NQZ yet to move, but he misses his shot regardless. That's going to be big. Lux unable to find anyone on the cross as well, and as NQZ's rotated, Kawis is the only one with a frag that maintains. That case is the same. And Phelps, in the meanwhile, has realized where Nasim is. As Nasim is trying to back off to safety, he will find it.
They missed that shot. You could see they just completely misread the pace that Imperial were going out with. They get caught off guard, getting shot in the side of the head because they were scaling so quickly on the side of Imperial. I actually wouldn't be too surprised to see Pain call a timeout after a round like that. It seemed like comms were a little bit haphazard, maybe a bit lazy. There needed to be a bout of urgency to understand that they needed to cover each other off because they just both ended up sitting in the same position and both struggled to get anything on the actual behold.
And both of them were set up to get at least a kill apiece, right? With no flashes to blind Lux, he should be able to get one over there. At least you're hoping for some good damage, if nothing else. And NQZ, of course, that's just a clear miss.
Yeah, straight away.
At the same time, though, do want to give so much love out to Phelps. The fact that he's managed to maintain this play style of, you know, individual aggressiveness across all of these years. He's someone who has obviously changed for the meta, but he's not one of the players who's remained relevant at the top of his scene by changing to a support role. He's maintained that stardom.
Yeah, you weren't really sure where Phelps would end up and who would really take the chance on him as a player to sort of find another level, or at least a way in which he could continue performing at the top end of the Brazilian scene. I mean, this is a guy that has attended 5 majors. He's made it to 2 semifinals. But in terms of actually being able to win them himself, even though, you know, surrounded with, you know, legendary players, he was in the period where, you know, that SK team were on a bit of a downswing. Weren't seeing the same performances.
Damn it, we only made 2 semifinals. That was a downswing for them, though. It just says how dominant the Brazilian scene used to be.
I mean, when you win 2 majors, you know.
That's true. And a couple of other titles to boot. Nasim holding down, he's the one to find a frag. It's actually Kawis to get a second out from short, but he's traded away. It's 3 versus 2. They know where Nasim is, but Nasim's got an aggressive, nice jiggle from Phelps. Means that he's got the advantage all over again. Nasim gets nervous. Worried about that Palace push forward to try and take him down, but really it was just Phelps once again.
Yeah, there's not a lot that you can really put on Lux to recover this round for the squad.
I believe.
Imperial just scrapping their way into A, and Phelps finding Lux just creeping his way down middle. Bit of a slow start from a few of the players here on the Pain Gaming side. And, you know, if we were going to think about the Pain angle of being able to win out versus Imperial, you really can't afford to have players have these slow engagements. You know, I feel like Imperial are doing a great job of playing to a pace that feels comfortable. You can see that Pain are a little bit maybe uncomfortable with how slow a lot of these rounds are sort of building, and then by the time they realize what's happening, it's just there are so many Imperial players in your face, and they have, I mean, they've hit some nice sharp shots.
Oh, flash is perfect. Vinny good for only 1 though. He's okay with being traded like that. CTs now, once again, will be forced to reset, and Pain, that early aggression that they do like to go for sometimes, it's been forced back to a more passive position. I do like this reaction from them, though. Tripling up inside A main does, however, lead Lux to be in a position where he has to really put up a big defense on the B bomb side if they end up attacking his area of command. In the meanwhile, though, Imperial are just trying to set up for a couple of more aggressive lurks, potentially. Meanwhile, from Hemi, he's found out, taken down. That's the bomb on the ground. Descenti's position is going to be crucial. He is the only player who can try and find a kill that makes that bomb much more accessible to them. Feltz can technically walk over and get it, but I don't know if they realize it. Now Descenti's cleared this out. Unless someone made their way all the way to TV room, which is unlikely, they should know the bomb is recoverable, but the time is not. That time's never coming back. There's 40 seconds left on the clock and not much to work with, no smokes.
It's the fact that they know that there's been a vacancy over towards the outside of A now, so they're creeping their way back, and it would be the right decision. Right now, Pain are sort of gravitating, still having to hold towards window, but they do have two players committed towards this A bomb site. I do think this lurk from No Way will have to activate sooner than maybe even he wants.
He's not going for a descent. He just goes in, quick frag found into his brother's Molotov and moves out as well. But Nassim, position unknown. NQZ unable to get the shot, and Descenti somehow still alive. That gives Phelps time to recover, and again, Pain are putting their hopes on the shoulders of NQZ, but unfortunately the shots are simply not connecting.
Yeah, Nassim not finishing off that frag towards CT as well. It was very labored. He had to use more bullets than he really wanted to if he was going to try and find that planter. You know, as soon as NQZ missed that shot, he knew he had to try and get that frag just before NQZ fell. And it all goes pear-shaped.
It's such a good adjustment as well from Pain as a response to that early heavy presence down middle, not giving the map control to triple up inside A main. That takes some stones, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, you gotta kill people. Oh, speaking of killing people, nice shot from Pgl Cs2.
It almost looked like they lined up as well. There was a real fear that that could have been a lot more damage done to Imperial, as well as the frag. So they're probably a little lucky they get away with that. Pgl Cs2 obviously showing some nice mechanics as that vet. So main reason Pain even have a round attributed to their name. He came in with a triple kill on a FAMAS. All right, now Imperial are having their way with Pain. And Imperial initially formed as this sort of last dance to bring in some of those legacy players that had lifted major titles with for the Brazilian scene, put South America on the map. The only man that still sits on this roster from that initial identity,
was one who wasn't dancing in the first place.
Exactly.
Vinny.
He was the newcomer.
And that newcomer is now the leader. The supreme authority, and that authority has dictated that the A site needs to be attacked. The scout finding nothing, Cowards is gone. They're not ready for NQZ, perhaps with the 5-7. He can break his dry spell, and indeed he does, but a Molotov underneath him, and that should be an easy pickup for Descenti as well. Only Lux remaining, and unfortunately he is still going to be at the big old 0. But as a B-side anchor who's not really finding too many opportunities, I don't really blame him too much.
Yeah, I mean, there's been, what, pistol round and one commitment from Imperial towards that B-bomb site. It's been a lot of rotating in, and the rounds have already been like 1 versus 3s, 1 versus 4s. These have not been pretty. It's where you put your heart out for that big fat 0, but also if you don't feel like you're getting pressured enough at B, there has to be a breaking point where you say, I'm gonna make my own play, because if I rotate in, it's already too late. They want to try and go for some of those aggro moves. Middle can be an avenue, B can certainly be explored. Painter going with the middle take, and Lux finding some impact, this time on the AWP. NQZ was last seen there. But now Lux has an AWP of his own. Maybe this double AWP setup for Pain could finally break their dry spell.
It's a great adjustment because it also lets you get all of that space down middle, but that makes it obvious that Imperial should be going for what seems to be an A hit. Smoke out for stairs, smoke out for jungle. It's time to commit, or is it? Phelps is still in a position where he could just pressure down mid and try and trade onto Cowards. There's plenty of time for Imperial to work with, and Pain are stuttering in their steps. Because Cs2 hasn't fully rotated back over towards this A-bomb site yet either. It does feel like Imperial is relying on Phelps to make a play to make this an easier scale up. Oh dear. That's unideal.
All right, needed a bit of extra oomph. But no one playing close ramp, so they couldn't hear it.
Checking out the util, NQZ forced off the angle, and Henny gets the better of it now. Biguzera, again, the only player remaining on this A site as his teammates have fallen. He's inside the Molotov. Position must be known. Vinny waiting for the spam to come through, and Henny's now covering it off. The bomb will be planted back triple where it's safe. But Phelps makes it so no one is safe on the CT side. This late lurk will execute itself, and that also makes it so Biguzera can't save. He feels like he has to push forward. Phelps is just a monster, though, rotating around everywhere he goes. He is just an absolute enigma. There's no clue about where he's playing in from. Maybe Kawis can find it. No! An enigma with hands.
Man, Phelps is playing such a sneaky game. You know, that's what the advantage of having that double up setup was going to bring, is that if Imperial are going to walk into these positions, they're going to try and activate on these lurks. The AWP can actually catch out those lurkers fairly frequently, but Phelps took such a late timing. Those A players found the double entry, and then all attention's drawn, and Phelps finds his time to strike in the back. And like you said, you know, just constantly moving, constantly repositioning, and some nice sharp shooting all on top of that as well. Pain are experiencing a complete brutalization right now on their CT side.
Phelps is basically sleep terrors right now for Pain. They're completely frozen. They have no idea when he'll hit. They just know he's around the corner somewhere. Which corner is it? You're going to find out eventually. And again, this just goes to show you the depth of Phelps' aggression is not limited to the early round. He's so good at individual early aggression, late round lurking. He is truly a veteran star. Descenti does fall though early on. This time there wasn't a Henny to cover off the push from the MP9. And Biguzera does pick up that first frag.
I mean, they just came off the back of having an opening man advantage and then having it fall out of their hands. So this time on SMGs, with Biguzera upgrading, maybe there's a better chance. Those MP9s are not likely to be static.
You'd hope so. But at the same time, set up on the B-bomb side makes it so that both Lux and Kawis are going to be playing quite close towards a balcony position. If this ends up being a short hit, it's going to be troublesome. But speaking of trouble, Phelps is coming through again. My God, he's even got the Molotov out towards Under Palace, perhaps. No, but not ready for once. Phelps finally caught off. NQZ, however, does find his teammates traded away. Lux and NQZ, the only ones left. They should know Lux is here.
They have no idea.
He's been a consistent player on this B side, and Henny can't adjust in time. Now, Vinny trying to locate Lux and catch him out, but Lux is being so elusive in apartments. Rotation is coming through, the bomb is on the ground. Vinny doesn't spot out Lux, he's worried about the push back over. And in the meanwhile, NQZ now, position revealed as well. Vinny is all alone, he needs help, he needs assistance, and nowhere is here to provide. Lux cornered in now, will not be able to get the kill. NQZ has to step up. He's had difficulty so far, but with 15 seconds, at least the time is on his side if his teammates aren't, and he can't get the frag. No way will still shut it all down.
No! Man, the difference it has just having that extra man and NQZ 1-on-2, but they both swing in at the same time. Just when NQZ went for that swing, No Way was one bullet away from death. But that's all he needs. That spray adjustment, not easy, and all the meanwhile, No Way was just peppering him back. Even when Imperial look uncomfortable, they're closing these rounds. And I think Lux did a whole lot to keep that round in contest. Kept himself alive, had Vinny pinned in position, but they just couldn't deal with him fast enough.
Oh, again, NQZ just gets taken down. Henny gets the better of him. At least Kawis is there to trade, at least. But Silver Linings will soon be finished and light is fading. Bane need to find rounds. 2 of them, at least on the CT side. Or rather 2 more. Biguzera, however, doesn't realize, but he's still just in time. Biguzera trying to play out the bench position, getting himself some good advantages, but Descenti just takes him down through the box and leaves Nassim to find Phelps. Back to a 2-on-1. No Way was the hero of the previous round. But now the double swing is on the other side. The CT set up nicely for the vertical peak. They know where the bomb is as well. No Way Wants out an elbow, gets the first for free, but he's turned around and Lux with the delayed hit will this time give them the round. Pain come out on top.
Yeah, nice that they played together in that situation as well. You can see Noe was still anticipating a spread out rotation, but gets shot in the back because of it. A lot of chaos dwelling on that A-bomb site. You saw Pgl trying his best to build some space. His team finally getting the edge. You know, Phelps has been a hard man to pin down, but he's finally caught off by one of these positions. And just a little too much to ask of Noe in the clutch. This was a much faster building round there from Imperial. They went for a quick attack on that A play while Henny perused mid by himself. But once again, slowing their roll. Imperial have been doing such a good job of operating in the mid-round.
Oh. That aggressive opening from Henny has been characterized for so long. The smoke's still up, gives him cover from short, but he can't actually find anyone to take fire on in middle. B-side players becoming worried once again about a site hit, which, well, that worry is well-founded. Bomb is nearby, but Imperial, knowing their shenanigans, might be changing it around at any point. Phelps taken down, Vinny as well hits the deck. So suddenly, a big advantage, one that might be extended. No, Descenti's ready. They're not going to be catching off the T side twice. And well, that second hop that Descenti has in his own hands might not have been expected.
And, you know, before those 2 kills come out from middle, they were on a bit of a timer on the side of Imperial, but now that they sound that flank, Henny finding the trade in middle as well. This round is still on. There is no late trap to be activated here by Pain by hunting for that information. 2 sit within the A-bomb site, leaving only Kawes as that sole B-site defender. No one watching for this cross towards short, and the one man that decided to peek into it, Pgl ripped clean. NQZ has to play safe as well. They could still finish on towards that A-bomb site with 20 seconds left. Imperial need to get a move on.
Kawes is holding his nerve so nicely. All he has to do is wait for the bomb tap. The time isn't working for Imperial, but now position reveal, flash is down. All he's doing is delaying, and it's a full 5-second flashbang. Quick shot found. Noe is down, and the bomb with it. Third round secured for Pain. They do get a lifeline in these last 2 rounds, but that being said, Imperial still looking very good.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell Pain came into this game a little uncomfortable, weren't quite playing to the same rhythm that Imperial were. They weren't ready for Phelps to go off on his solo missions. Man was playing Splinter Cell or something. He was catching players off guard left, right, and center. But a little bit of composure shown by some of the players on this Pain roster towards the tail end. It was Lux inside of the apartments, delaying Vinny. You know, they don't win that round, but the play itself felt like the right operation, and Kawes as well holding his nerve. So signs of life, I believe, here for Pain. But moving into this T side, there's a lot of emphasis going to be put on this pistol round. Imperial have been just a force to be reckoned with so far on this Mirage.
And it's so nice to see the fact that the 2 youngsters are also still performing. And that is one of the big differences, right? I know Pgl is also a veteran as far as the years are concerned, right? He won't have the shakes, he won't have the nerves on stage, but he's not a calming figure to look down and see that, oh my God, it's Phelps. He's made semifinals. Oh my God, it's Henny. He's made a grand final. Oh my God, Zach standing behind us also made a grand final of a major. The calming aura isn't there. So Imperial's youngsters, they're doing really well. Noe and Descenti looking fantastic, even in a lot of these late round difficult situations. Now Henny, Molotov off in mid. Pain's plan is simple. Get onto that A-bomb site and have that lurker activate, but Pgl is taken down, and with that, Noe is committed to another quick frag. NQZ trades, finally, and Vinny and company are trying to move in. The bombs are plotted in an ideal location, but that said, at least it goes down. Vinny does go down as well, but Kawes doesn't realize there might have been a second player nearby. Phelps is the one who he's fighting up against. Henny and Phelps back to back, trying to fight out with a jump through. Henny's the one to collect. Now, Nassim and NQZ. NQZ to try and cover off that cross, but with the smoke down, that won't be particularly helpful. They're on the defuse, they're sticking to it. Henny's still all the way in. He finally gets the shot. Nassim to save the day with 3.
Man, good heads up. That smoke on the bomb, there was a way that could have fallen out of their hands. Henny had a kit. That 5 seconds ticking in their head, and once they realized it was only him remaining, just finding the last bullet, and in the nick of time. This is so damn close. Look how far that progresses before Pain finally flush him out. An important pistol for Pain. They move in as underdogs to this series, but there is still some fight left in them. Even after getting brutalized in that first half, they can still right the ship.
I do like me a Juju train.
Is it often led by a Zeus?
Electric trains are all the rage these days. I think they call them trams or something. These kids, what are they going to come up with next?
I was thinking more maglev, to be honest, here.
I don't even know what that is.
What? Magnetic levitation?
Ah! Listen, I won't talk about the railway infrastructure of my country, but we don't have those.
Yeah, not many places do. Oh, this is rather simple. A nice lightweight round for Pain to chew through. Pretty stressful pistol, but now some time to reorganize your thoughts. You know, as you start building back into this game, as you start building more and more rounds, that distance between you and Imperial starts to get closer and closer. And the thought about pulling together a successful T side just becomes more and more realistic. Those are acceptable losses, only losing the Mac-10, able to get their hands back on the Galil, so all the rifles saved over here for Pain. A bit of a walkover on round 2 of the second half.
This is where the real test begins, though. For Imperial, no matter how much we might rant and rave about how good these veterans are, how much experience they have, everyone knows 1 or 2 gun rounds, and suddenly all of that experience doesn't matter because the momentum's on the other side. Now, Henny doesn't want that to happen. He's found the first frag. Gluck's taken down through a smoke. Never fun.
Not an ideal way to start, but they had a lot of utility to be able to flush him out of that position. Nice protocol from Imperial. Pretty base, but their willingness to instigate in that manner.
Look at how aggressive Norway is right now. They can fully start to rotate away from this A site. Vicenti and Henny's job is made so much easier right now. They're getting ready for a potential rotate back towards B. They know this Molotov doesn't mean very much. Phelps also knows that if there's anyone going forward to connector, he'll be able to spot that out because Zera is basically a dead man walking. Will he check this angle? No, it won't matter. Phelps misses the jump, but he might just take the duel outright and win it. He does. Now it's time for Vinny to look for the wins. He won't be able to find that first kill. No, just the head. Molotov to the back of the site. He continues forward. Vinny's got the quick double. Phelps on the assist. Did just force them forward. Funnels them into Vinny's waiting arms. NQZ. A 1v4. Would have to pull out the full ace clutch, but with 25 seconds left and the bomb not down yet, any possibilities that were already minimal are looking impossible. Instead, will he even be able to find one? No, he will not.
Yeah, a lot of patience displayed there from Imperial. Even in the 4 versus 1, they're happy to allow him the plant, but they weren't going to give him opportunities to win out that clutch. They had a flank coming as well. They had a lot of players sort of mustering their strength inside of Kitchen. And unfortunately, there is not much of a path for NQZ to clutch back as much as Pain would have wanted it. But they start off that man down. And, you know, Big Uzera, there was actually a world in which, you know, Phelps actually just didn't have that engagement. But because he missed the jump, it was kind of, you know, it was almost fortunate for Phelps because that was a frag waiting to be found.
Fortune favors the bad movement. That's what they say.
What a hard angle to clear. Vinny is playing on that B-bomb side. They were still pretty spread, even with Noah's forward spot inside of Palace. But that's just the strength of the spot. Vinny knowing his positions well. And look at some of the aggression implemented here by Imperial, playing round that top mid smoke. They call the all clear. There's a lot of presence and utility, but not a lot of bodies.
Double Mac-10 to try and push forward, but look at how far away Lux is from the rest of his team. Vinny has it easy. The double. Coming in for more, why not? The A4 will always be helpful, and No Way is as well. Trying to prevent the cross from coming through. Vinny goes down to the flames, but he doesn't care at all. Imperial on 11. They cannot be stopped.
Pretty much the worst way that could have gone. Throw presence towards mid and top mid, and they face clear it. They play around those smokes. They start challenging and seeing that there's nobody on Pain available. So even though it is just Vinny on that bomb site, he has that additional heads up. He knows that fights are coming his way, and Vinny just, I mean, feasts on them. Such a great hold from the back of the bomb site.
That's an anchor's dream, just being given duels like that one by one. You've got the A4 as well, so you're not worried about running out of bullets like that. Nicely done.
But once again, just good positioning as well, not getting hit by some of the utility that Pain tried to throw his way. They are playing with simply a different class, different caliber than what Pain are presenting currently here on map number 1. Vinny even finding his duel over towards B, so Pain even on this force buy. Left with that extra man down, and they've only got so many resources that they can pull together. That smoke is kind of funky. Kind of allows a T to weirdly drop into the bomb site. They would have a sound cue, of course, but
Henny's is inviting them at this point.
it will keep their attention. Maybe a little longer than they actually wanted.
Pain are desperate. And Henny's the one to meet that desperation, that charge in towards him. Is there any help? No, Descenti's flashed off, but Henny doesn't need it. It's a free duel given. Nassim trades, and Descenti now can activate. Moves through the smoke, looks for more, and he delivers every single time. Imperial, 12-5, and no reason to believe this will be anything but 13.
I mean, it's just been so consistent from Imperial throughout this map. Even in the rounds when we were seeing them on T sides where Phelps was tearing it up and sometimes he was found, there was always another player willing to step up into the responsibility. You look at those kill scores on Imperial, it is tight-packed, not a weak link to be found. As much as Pain would hope that someone exposes themselves as a bit of a liability, unfortunately, this Mirage is looking pretty damn clean from Imperial.
No Way just doesn't stop going. Really wants to finish things as fast as he can. Descenti as well, spots out a man trying to find cover. In the meanwhile, Cow is trying to find blood. Will spill some, but not enough, and Henny's the one to actually get the kill. Casualties on the side of Pain will not be limited to just one. Phelps might be able to get more and more here. He's waiting for the smoke to dissipate. They've turned around and they face death. Phelps, the deliverer of it. And only Nassim left. He's got nothing to offer. Imperial now one map away from Copenhagen. They look untouchable.
He just can't keep getting away with it. Phelps shooting players in the back of the head. That is a veteran's play, a bit of a risk, but something that goes overlooked. They played with just such great caliber. Imperial, a dominant Mirage.